Hi everybody, I'm Anthony from Rothenberger and welcome to the Rothenberger Pipe Up podcast. Today, I won't say the special word because I do tend to say it on everyone, but I've got Liam Snellin, the main man behind Comodo Workwear. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Fantastic to have you here. Big fan of the show, and obviously I met you at Harrogate Tool Fair.
Yeah.
And you gave me one of those, and absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah,
Really
we'll definitely
good
get a collaboration going soon with the jackets.
100%, mate, 100%. So, you started out as a spark.
Yeah.
How did that come about? A family thing? Or?
Yeah. To be honest, it was. I went on the tools straight out of school because I went on. I've done work experience in a bank, and I'm basically just a little bit too active for a bank or an office setting. So I found out then and there straight away that being on the tools, I was always good with my hands, good at DT. So yeah, my dad spoke to his friend, and luckily I got an apprenticeship quite easily. So I have to thank my dad for that.
Yeah. How old are you now, for instance?
Yeah. So as soon as I left school at like 15, I literally had like 1 week off, and I started my apprenticeship.
Right,
and I'm 30 next month, so
okay.
getting on now. I've been doing it about 15 years now, so it's crazy.
So you know your stuff as regards the electrical side.
Well, we all get by, don't we? But don't know if we know everything.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So if you had like lessons to be learned from the tools, what's probably helped you now with your entrepreneurial side?
Yeah.
How's that helped you, or has it, or is it
separate? I think being on the tools teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you discipline. I feel like when you come out of school, you feel like you can do what you want. You start going on the tools, you realise there's a big world out there. You know what I mean? You need to start getting up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, you've got to work late because something might go wrong. So you just learn change. And I feel like those skills you can't learn just through being at school. You have to go on the tools, or you have to go into a job, into that environment where you're sort of in your own accord. And I feel like the other things I learned about being on the tools was just hard work as well. I remember my electrician, I'm actually working with him now, Dave. He said to me years and years ago that if you're watching someone do something, be aware of what they need next and pass him the tool. You know, if he's working in a board and I know he's going to need a posi at some point, I will make sure I've got it to hand. So I think those little things, if you zoom out, actually help you in entrepreneurship and in business and loads of other things, because you're looking at what needs to be done next. It might just be like a simple thing as a screwdriver, but it's that thought process of what's coming. You know, you need to start prepare for what's ahead, and I feel like that's definitely helped me.
I think it's a personable thing as well. You've got to be able to talk to people. Some people really struggle with that. I remember being on the tools on site and different things, and some people, okay, it's a few years since me, but a lot of people just sitting there on the phone. The Apprentice, for instance, is sitting there on the phone, and you see some of the guys who are just like, come on, mate, I need a... And if you're always in the zone, you're going to go further.
I think so. I think you are the person that's in control of how much you put in. You know, the good old saying is people do more than what they're paid for, soon get paid for more than what they do. And I think that's a big thing, you know, like apprentices, people go in there, they try and do the bare minimum. So my advice to people that are just starting off in the industry would be, do more. Do you know what I mean? Do more than what you're asked for, because you'll be more valuable to the company or to the person that you're working for. And then you're going to get the benefits in the long run. Yeah,
you always sort of like my philosophy, and I might have said this on a previous one, but since I started saying yes to everything, things have happened for me.
Yeah,
I'll do that. When I first started doing these videos, will you do that? And I was like, oh God. I was like, yeah, go on. And I just started doing it. And it just sort of gives you that confidence and stuff. And as soon as you start saying yes to things, things start happening for you.
That's
it's being positive rather than negative. So speaking of, obviously, when I said the apprentice there, I was obviously said an apprentice. In fact, before I talk about that, did you say you did an apprenticeship as a spark? Did you have to go to college for that?
Yeah. So we done a year in the yard without going into college, and then the year after went into college. I think I done 3 or 4 years in college. Do your MVQ, got my gold card, and then that was it. I was out of here.
Yeah. Is it like, because I do a lot of talks in colleges, and is it the same for did you have like people on your course? I get the impression some of the courses I go and talk to, some people, they don't want to be there. They're just doing it, in my opinion, because they don't want to pay housekeeping. So I'm at college, mum.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, the side that I went down was working.
Yeah.
So it was an apprenticeship. So obviously I was only there for one day. I feel like some of those people might be not working and just going for the, ticking over. So I never really got to see that side of things. But from where I was, there's definitely some people that was more interested and more people that were just there trying to get by. And I feel like some of the younger lads coming through now are, as you said, they're always on their phones and stuff. But if you get a good one that actually listens to you and you respect them and they respect you, I feel like that's where you've hit the sweet spot.
Yeah. And they are out there. I always, like, there's a diamond in the rough always, and I always look out for the one who's being quiet, who doesn't want to look silly in front of his pals. Yeah. That's the one I'm sort of aiming at.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who's probably more interested, or she's the one. A lot now. There's a lot more females in like the colleges in the trades. So going back to, this is difficult with the Apprentice and the Apprentice. So what made you first go on the Apprentice or apply? Or
so I always wanted to go on the Apprentice. I loved the show. When I first started watching it, I didn't really know what business I would have when I may have applied or may not have. And to be honest, this year when I went on the Apprentice, I didn't say, right, this is the year that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have it this year. Yeah. It was basically, I was just scrolling on Instagram and I see an ad of Lord Sugar saying he was after his next business partner. I thought, there you go. Yeah. This is the year to do it. And I just applied. I thought, do you know what? Let me do it now. I've got a quick 10 minutes. I looked in there, the forms that you have to do. I was like, all right, I need to put that to the side. I went back. I spent quite a few hours. Typing out all of the answers for everything. And before I knew it, I just kept getting invited back. And before I knew it, I was filming.
It must be a crazy concept. The whole thing, Big Brother, but for business. Like in the house.
It's been an amazing journey. It feels so surreal speaking about it now, because obviously you have watched it and I'm a fan of the show myself. So when I first heard the commentator speaking about me and the people that I'd known and been with, it was just, it was amazing, Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Not that I've done it. I definitely don't regret it 100%. Like, I loved it and I wouldn't do it again because I've had that experience. I wouldn't want to go through it again. It's a very, it's a difficult experience, like from the fact that you haven't got your phone, you can't speak to the outside world, you don't know what's going on in your business, you only get like a one phone call a week with family. So there's certain things like that which would probably defer me from doing it again. But I definitely don't regret it. I had a great time.
I mean, I think when you're looking, when obviously watching it from the outside, and I've watched pretty much everyone, I think, in a way, and it's always the faces of, is it Karen and Tim?
Yeah.
When it obviously done for TV a little bit as well, where one of the guys will say something and they go, I don't know. You wouldn't be every single show. It's like, somebody's got something wrong to do with the numbers, and it's like, and I'm like, oh god. But it's just so addictive. Yeah. Was it what you expected?
Yes and no, to be honest. I feel like I try not to go into things with expectations, because I feel like that can lead to, dishearten, really. Like, if you have an expectation of something and it doesn't come true, like, you're always a bit disappointed. So I didn't have this build up of what it would be, but there were certain things that I was like, right, this is going to happen. This is going to be like this. It was surreal staying in the house, it's worth like 14 million or something, the gaff that we was in. Like, we won the first task. We go back to the gaff and they're like, right, we've got the swimming pool, we've got the sauna, and then we're filming. I'm so excited. I love my saunas and going swimming and that. And then the geezer's like, afterwards, by the way, you're not allowed to use this for health and safety. And you're like, oh my God. So it's like things like that was obviously like, you don't know that you're not allowed to use certain things. I feel like it was way more, strict and regimented than maybe what I thought as well. Like, I didn't realise it would be like so intense. Like, you're not allowed to leave this room, sit here until sort of we say, and You know, there's different, you can't task talk with the other teams. There's loads of little things that you don't know. But yeah, as a show, like, what a great experience, you know.
So you can't talk. So say, for instance, the one who sticks out in my mind, obviously, because he's in the trades as well, Dean. So if he was on another team to you.
Yeah, which was the whole series.
Yeah. Oh, was it really?
Yeah, so they never put us together once. Like, and obviously me and Dean were like the close. Dean was my best pal at the Apprentice by far. Like, what an absolute geezer. Yeah. And we actually met on the interview stage.
Right. Okay.
So at one of the processes, I can't say what it was, but we was doing a task together, and me and him was working really well together. Like, he was passing me stuff, and we was having. But the rest of the lads that was there weren't really getting involved, or maybe not as good.
Right.
And Dean was just like really good, you know, helping each other out. And I think from that's why we never got put on the same team.
Right.
But yeah, like, obviously, if the task has started, we can't ask you how you're getting on for sales and vice versa. But because we're all staying in the same house, it's very tempting. You're crossing paths, so you want to know how you're getting on and stuff. So yeah, it was just you got to sort of keep yourself to yourself, but they've got staff there and stuff to keep you separated and that. And obviously, me and Dean, being the geezer that was on the trades, we knew how to turn the steam room on, so we would turn the steam room on. Yeah, we went in there like nearly every other night. Like,
and you weren't supposed to?
No.
Fantastic.
They come at the end of the show and they was, oh yeah, there's CO2 being released in the sauna and that. They was trying to make us scared because they knew someone was using it.
Right.
We'd go down there and, like, if the light was on and the door was open, we'd know someone has clocked it. So as soon as we'd get home, we'd go down there, turn it on so it get a bit hot, and then we'd go down there, have our sauna, and then turn it off again.
Brilliant. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, that was class.
What would you say if you had to pick one, the most challenging? Because obviously you got so many different characters in there, and again, I won't. Obviously, you definitely can't mention names.
Yeah.
I won't mention names, but some people, like, the tactic seems to be, right, I'm going to be in your face person, and I do think they miss the point. They think, he's gonna, I don't know, Lord Sugar's gonna love me because I'm absolutely direct at the others. And I think sometimes it's got to be like a happy medium. But what was the most challenging for you? Because you're a nice guy. You know, you've got a work ethic, all this sort of thing. So all of a sudden, when you're put in front of people like that, what are you?
I feel like there's so many things going through your head, right? Like, you're being filmed and you've got a very short window to make an impact, or, you know, for people to know who you are. Yeah. So naturally, like, even myself, I found myself trying to jump into conversations, or, you know, you want to be heard. You want to feel like you're being heard. You want to feel like you're going to be, you know, on the screen.
Back, is it?
Exactly, but sometimes being more reserved can help you out. You know, you're not talking over people, and if you carry yourself with a certain level of respect, I think that gets shown, and Lord Sugar can see that. I think everyone has their own sort of game plan or idea on how they was going to do things, and it may have changed when you go into it, and everyone's in it for themselves as well, so you need to be careful who you're pals with and stuff like that, and what you say to people. But I think all in all, for me, the biggest challenge was trying to express what was going on in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like, try and get my opinions and my thoughts out there in a way that seemed to make sense to other people.
Because I know, oh God, mate, preaching to the choir, you really are, because I'm exactly the same. I have ideas about something, but it's trying to get it out there. Yeah. And I just end up like babbling. Has it impacted your career, obviously with Comodo Workwear? Good or bad, or a mixed bag, or what? Has it been good for you?
It's definitely been good for me, yeah. It's been good exposure. Obviously, I went on there to win the show and win the investment.
Yeah.
The best man won, big up Dino, so I'm glad he won. But I think for me, I wanted to get across my brand, get across a little bit of my personality, what I'm about. Yeah. And I feel like it definitely has helped me. You know, people are more willing to have me on to podcasts, and they want to have conversations because it's interesting. And it just adds to my story, you know, from being an electrician or a tradesman, going into finding a gap in the market, creating a brand around that, and, you know, try and be the Gymshark of the workwear industry. Do you know what I mean? That's essentially what I'm trying to do. So it's definitely helped me. I think for the small period that I was on the show, it could have hindered me a little bit. I wasn't in the business all the time. You know, touch wood, I had a great PA that was running the business for me. But if it weren't for her, you know, I could have been in way worse position than what I was. So
it's good to have somebody like that you can trust to keep things going, because you would be
literally everyone, like, there was one stage where I was in the bottom 3, or there was like, it was the last task and there was 3 people next to me. Most of those, all of their businesses were shut down and mine was the only sort of ticking over. So I thought, you know, it's not just me who had that issue. It's hard for getting people to take the position on of the business that you can trust, and actually they know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? But it definitely has helped me.
How many, I can't remember off the top of my head now, but how many times were you in the bottom 3? I can't.
I was quite lucky. I got dragged back with my boat hook, which I thought was an absolute robbery, because my boat hook was unreal. By the way, my little show snovel turned into a boat hook. But yes, I was in the bottom 3 for that, and then I think I managed to skip it until the final task. Yeah, old skirt and crop top done me.
I definitely started on that.
But yeah, that weren't a bottom 3. That was like everyone was in the bottom, because there was 4 and 4 then. So
that was incredible. I'll keep my thoughts to myself. But I felt for you. That's what I'll say there.
I appreciate that.
Because it's just not something. Anyway, so do you keep in touch? I know obviously you keep in touch with Dean, but so 18 start, dude.
Yeah. So it's 18. Yeah, 9 boys, 9 girls. Frederick and Jana, 2 of my very, very good friends. Fred's actually getting married this week.
Right, okay.
So on Friday we've got the wedding for that. Really looking forward to it. And then even some of the girls, you know, like Chizola, she's a local girl from Essex. We got on really well. And Amber Rose as well, another lovely girl. She's flying at the minute. She's doing everything she said she was going to do with the business. So, you know,
which one was Amber Rose now? What was her business?
She had the bubble tea idea, and she has a Ori Mart, it's called. She's got like a Vietnamese food supplier. So, but these people, when you first meet them, obviously you're against them. But when you live together for like 2 months, you're cooking each other dinner. You know, you're all playing games. You become a little family, and I feel like there's definitely that family element to us. And I've got friends for life.
That's lovely. I mean, I always think with the bottom 3 bit, or the last bit, I really struggle, and I always cringe. It's like somebody's watching me watch it, because I'm like, you know, when they're nasty to each other, or they say, which is a business thing. But did you have to do that with anybody?
Not really. I was lucky, really. I didn't actually get pinned against anyone that was my close pals, really. So I was quite lucky. Like when we was in the bottom, it was obviously I was defending my boat hook, and that was against Carlo and Max. And then there was other times, I was quite lucky. I never actually had to throw anyone under the bus, but I feel like I've got quite good integrity. I don't feel like I'd be someone to sort of throw foul mouth. I remember one time we went to do the Easter egg task, and Anissa's thrown me right under the bus as soon as we've gone into the boardroom, because they put your notebooks in the thing, and my notebook weren't in there, and it had all my questions that I want, and they was like, Liam didn't have his notes, didn't ask no questions. So it's like things like that, you're just like, I can't believe you just said that. And you're like looking over at the table, giving them like the death stare, because you're just like, I can't believe you've just said that. But listen, you can't, there's no bad blood. Well, for me anyway, I can only talk for me, but like, I understand why people do and say certain things, but for me, like, I can't forget that, you know, people's characters come through, and if you're willing to do that, whether it's for the right or wrong reasons.
And how awkward is it when you get back to the house, if that's happened? I bet
awkward.
You've seen...
it's awkward, man.
When you see 2 people going at each other in the boardroom, and then they go back, and I'm like, I always... And I shouldn't do it, because it makes great TV. But for me, I'm like, I hope one of them goes, because I don't want to see that bit afterwards. To like nicer person, I'm like, please just get on.
There was a lot of behind the scenes. To be honest, I was a bit of a stirrer. Like when we used to sit down at the sofa, I'd be like always trying to find out the gossip of what went on. Because obviously, if you didn't get into the bottom 3, you don't know what happened. So you know, it's not like we get to all watch it behind the scenes. We don't know. So then when they come back, we're like, what's the gossip? Do you know what I mean? What's the news? And yeah, like I always used to throw the one-liners in there, like, oh, it looks like someone got away with it this week or whatever it is. But, you know, I'm quite a jokey person, and some people like that, some people don't. But to be honest, that's just who I am. But I think there was times where it was awkward, but I embraced that.
It's good because I'd just crumble.
You have to, though.
I'd just fall out with everybody if they started being nasty to me. I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you. Wouldn't be. They'd actually be cutting to say, do you mind at least talking to them? I'd be like, nope. I could just imagine me being on there. So moving on from obviously The Apprentice, but the main reason, obviously for me and yourself here, what's the story behind Comodo Workwear, and how's it going?
Yeah, so the story is I got an apprenticeship as an electrician. One day I would wear tracksuit bottoms, the next I would wear cargo trousers, you know, with the pockets and stuff. And I was on price at the time, and I was wearing both trousers on the train. I was so hot, I thought to myself, why am I wearing both trousers? And then I just come up with the idea, why has no one made comfortable workwear? You know, like I wear the jogging bottoms to be comfortable, I wear the cargo trousers to have all the pockets and to have knee pads and stuff like that. And the word Commodore in Spanish and Italian means comfortable. So that's the concept behind the brand. I wanted the brand
Is that
name.
how that's pronounced then? Commodore?
Well, yeah, I say Comodo just probably because of my accent.
Yeah,
but
it's Rothenberger, Rothenberger.
yeah, exactly. Like we're used to it now. But yeah, it's Commodore in Spanish and Italian. It's Commodore, and Comoda is the female version as well. So which we actually, I don't know whether I need to do that or not. Maybe I'll let the listeners tell me. But we've just brought out a women's workwear range. Right. So whether I need to change it to Comodo workwear for the women, but it's all inclusive now, isn't it? So maybe just Comodo will do.
Yeah, I think in one way that's quite good to differentiate. That's just my thoughts on that. Imagine doing that for, this is the, how did you print it? Commodore for the guys?
Commodore,
and
Comoda
for the girls.
For the girls,
That's quite good idea. Excuse me. So how did your time as an electrician like influence your designs? Is it purely because of the pockets?
Yeah, pretty much all because of the pockets, the areas. I've always been into taking care of my appearance. I feel like if you look good, you do feel good, and I think you perform better. Yeah, you know, it's nothing like a fresh haircut. You come off the scissors and you just feel like a brand new man. And I feel like that is what I wanted to bring into the workwear industry. I didn't feel like there was a fashionable or a stylish brand. There's some great brands out there that might be out of budget for some apprentices, or you know, might not be exactly what they want. And I just feel like I'm just trying to find that niche and that gap. And I feel like being an electrician, obviously you used to be on the tools, so you know yourself how to use all of your products. And I think that's a key thing for any business owner, is to know what the product is, what it's for, how it could be better. And it definitely helped me out.
And having the correct size, because you've been a Spark, so you know how big or what size the pockets need to be there for the main thing you use, or something like that. So
there's loads of different things that you pick up on. And like even now, like I'm still on the tools doing bits here and there, so I'm still wearing my own trousers and my own jackets and stuff, thinking how can I improve this, or what do I like, what I don't like. And I think it's constantly trying to evolve and develop the product.
How's the elasticated waist gone down with what? Because I think that's so obvious. Because a comfort thing, I won't say brands which ones I've got for when I'm doing demos, but you know, you sort of, I don't know, bend down and like you think, did that just go and all this sort of stuff, or split or whatever. And it's always, and then saying that you take them off, and when you've got a little bit round the stomach area, there's like a, you know, tram lines in my skin. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake, you know. But elasticated, but that just made such sense.
I think the elasticated waist is what sets us apart from other brands. I feel like when I started the business, it's been going 5 years now, so when I started it was just not an option. Now there are other brands that are picking up on the idea that things need to be more comfortable. But I do feel like with mine, I'm very much focused on the comfort aspect. And durability is a big factor, and it's something that I've been trying to improve, and my products are all very durable.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's sometimes focused more on durability than comfortability.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a tradesman, we know that it's going to rip at some point because we work in with sparks and, you know, knives, whatever it might be. Things happen. We're just on the tools. But if you're comfortable, I feel like that's something you can't buy out of a durable product.
Yeah.
And that's what sets us apart, really. The elasticated waist, the material behind the knee, that tends to clog up, or I feel like it sort of gets a bit stiff behind the knee. And that's another key area that we wanted to change, the material. And that's pretty much where I started, you know, pen to paper. I started drawing these designs, sent them off, got some samples made, and just carried on developing them, still developing them now.
Yeah, but I suppose that's a good thing if you're putting it down. As soon as you get an idea, like if I've got an idea about something of ours, and I'm like, oh, you know, write that down. That'll, you know, rainy day. But so you're always thinking when you're out there.
Constantly.
Yeah. Did you do boots as well?
No, we did do a small bit of boots, but it's just not. We're just not big enough at the moment.
Fair enough. No.
And I feel like I really want to be the best in whatever I have, and I genuinely believe my trousers and my shorts are the best.
Yeah.
But I don't think the boots that I make were the best. So I said, you know what? Let me stop doing those for a little bit. Let's focus on what we do the best and narrow down on that until we start growing and we can really put the R&D and the funding that we need to make what I want.
Yeah, rather than just putting some out there and slapping your name on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that obviously, like I said, the elasticated part, but also obviously the top lot. I think it's the same as that one.
Yeah,
but there's like movement to it, and I could imagine. Obviously, I'm not working proper job anymore.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that being like, because it's really like flexible. What's the word like?
It's just a
stretchy.
Stretch full way material.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, I feel like for me, I wanted to make something that you don't even feel like you're wearing work trousers. Because I feel like there's a big stigma of like everyone wants to wear tracksuit bottoms to work and like be comfortable and stuff. So I just thought of blending tracksuit bottoms and work trousers together. And made Comodo Workwear trousers.
We'll put a link on this when we release this. So where you got obviously hoodies, trousers, t-shirts.
Yeah, t-shirts, shorts. We've got some high-vis bits coming in. Nice. Shout out to all the women in the trades as well. I really would love to support you. So any women's in the trades, hit me up. I'll give you some extra discount or whatever you need. But we're releasing our first women's trouser, painter's trousers. We've got some beige ones, some navy ones, and we've got orange trousers as well coming out. So some exciting new products.
Yeah. Do you have a shop, or are you just warehouse? Or
so we're just online, and we're at, where we met at the trade shows, the tool fair shows. They're our main place where people can come and try stuff on and stuff like that. But
so you're at again, we don't know when this is released. So you've been to So I met you at Harrogate tool fair. Yeah. So Coventry, Sandown
Park as well.
So it'll be released before Sandown, so I'll see you there.
See you at Sandown.
But so you're finding that's helping with the trade shows, getting your brand out there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's good to have a base. Like, I would love to have a shop. We're just not at that point where we'd do that, and I really need to think about there's so many different avenues and ways that we could grow, and one of the ways that I really want to grow at the minute is through TikTok Shop and a lot of the online stuff. But the tool fairs and the shows that we do enables us for people to come and feel the products. It's very hard for people to see how stretchy something is through a camera or feeling it. So trying it on, we've got the changing room there. You know, when a geezer whips them on, usually he's happy with them, and he's like, "Oh, these are well comfy." And then we chuck in the free knee pads, and then they've got a happy customer.
Have you got those trousers where you can put the knee pads in?
Yeah. So we do all the trousers at the minute are coming with free knee pads as well. So we have them included in the bundle. So
brilliant. What's been the biggest? Oh, it's so difficult because you're still on the tools a wee bit, but your biggest transition from tools to business owner and then building your own brand, what would you know? I mean, obviously you got to put food on the table, so you're cracking on doing that for a little bit and all that. But you're brave, surely. If you it's your baby.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
surely you're always thinking about
constantly.
what's next.
Always thinking about what's next. When you're developing products, you need to develop seasonal products as well. So like it might be winter, I'm probably designing shorts, which to most people is crazy, but like you need to be that far in advance. And I think for me, it's always about thinking about how can I improve what I've designed. But at the same time, you put a product out there, you're like, right, I've cracked it. This is the best ever. I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
And then someone might say, oh, what about that? Or then I might think, oh, what about that? And then I'll change it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I need to try and stop doing that as much. I'm at a point now where I've developed everything to a point where I'm happy and we can reorder. And then that's why we've now introduced the other colours. I was waiting for a long time to bring out other colours because I really wanted to like make sure we had a like final this is the best.
The products, the quality of the product.
Yeah, the quality of the product was exactly how I wanted it. And then I thought, right, let me bring these out in other colours because I know it works. I know people like it. And then there we go. That's sort of where we've been with it.
And have you been, obviously doing this, I've seen you on a couple of other podcasts.
Yeah.
Or heard a couple of the other podcasts. And do you get anything, I say anything, I know it's not all about that, but do you find it helps and gets you out there?
Yeah, it definitely helps with brand awareness and people want to try out and think, oh, what's this geezer talking about, these stretchy trousers? I'll try them out, let them know how stretchy they are. So people do obviously buy off the podcast, but for me, I like building relationships with people like yourself, off the job podcast. I went on a trade gains with Ryan O'Sullivan, lovely gentleman. So it's just like meeting people within the industry, I think is very good. Like our chat before we was on the podcast, I've learned so much and I'm going to take that away. I really appreciate that.
No, mate, honestly.
You know what I mean? There's things like that you can't put a value on. But in Tao, it always helps the business. We're going to do a giveaway, a joint giveaway, and potentially a collab in the future. So all of these things are great. Yeah,
and we'll obviously, from our point of view, push from our side as well, just to show people, because we, like I say, I've got the top, the hoodie, and it's so comfortable. And I appreciate that. I really should put Rothenberger on it because I
be on there. So
wear it. Yeah, absolutely. So, what advice would you give other tradespeople, especially like the younger ones coming through, to turn their ideas into a business?
I think whatever your idea is, the first thing to do is just go for it. You know what I mean? Totally. Like, don't take no time thinking about it too much because nothing's going to be perfect straight away. Yeah. I've tried businesses and failed and they've taught me stuff, so sometimes failing from things is the best lessons that you're going to have. Yeah. So whatever your ideas are in business, whether it's to do a plumbing business, electrical business, I would say only start those when you're competent enough to go off on your own. Yeah, don't jump before don't run before you can walk. But at the same time, if you want to do a bit of private work on the weekends, start getting the feelers out for your own stuff, I think just go for it, and you're going to overcome problems and you're just going to have to find solutions for them. And the worst thing you can do is wait and not start, because the best time to start was years ago. The second best time is now. Yeah.
We took a little bit of advice from a previous guest. He's Paul Bullivan, lovely guy, he's commercial director of Howarth Timber. And he came on, and I'd known him for a few years for Twitter and stuff, just for our love of sport. Nothing to do with business at all. So he came in a while back, and we were talking, as we were earlier, beforehand. And we've been talking about doing the podcast since you've been here, I should say Dan, our marketing manager, since Dan's been here 3 years, and we just never got around to it because we're sort of a family run business, if you like, where we all muck in and do everything. And then he said to us, he says, just do it, just get it out there, just do it. I go, oh, what about if nobody listens, watches? Doesn't matter. Just do it. If nobody watches, does it matter? Because nobody's going to see. But we know it's a numbers-based sort of thing. Of course. And you just want people to see, and this is why we haven't gone down the route of talking about Rothenberger for an hour or whatever we do, because it's about it's about showing that we're not just talking about us. We want to hear about Comodo.
But there's more to it. Do you know what I mean? Even what you said, there's more to having relationships and building, having the same sort of vision as well for where our brands both want to go in the future. I think people give up what they want most for what they want now. And I think like when youngsters have got so much opportunity, you know, they get invited to the pub or to parties or whatever there is, there's so many options of things to do. But just think to yourself, is this really what I want, or is this going to stop me from getting what I want?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a key thing. You know, I know you said saying yes earlier is a great thing, and I totally agree with that. But I also think saying no a lot to the wrong to the other things can be a great way to live your life, because if you're saying yes to the wrong things,
You're absolutely right.
so it's just like, but again, you were saying it in the sense of the things that you might second guess or think, oh, am I ready? But if you just go head first into those things and say no to the things that are going to hold you back from your goals, you know, those parties, those pubs, if you know you should be going gym, you go to the pub, you're not going to feel like you've earned your keep, you know. So I feel like that's a big important thing.
You're totally right there, because this weekend, for instance, I've been down in London. A friend of mine's an actor, like BBC and all this sort of stuff. So we went down there, and obviously it's been a heavy couple of days.
Yeah.
So this morning I got up and went out and done 10k, because I thought I don't want to be on here.
Yeah.
Like thinking, flagging and all this sort of stuff, especially when people like yourself have drove a while to get here.
No, it's a pleasure.
And it's not. It's just not professional, and we all get into that moment where you have you're coming on a Monday and you're like, so I set the alarm for just before 5 o'clock and just went out there, because I want to make sure, where possible, I like to keep it personable, but at the same time, be a bit professional with it. And you're absolutely right about just saying no to those things. I'm getting quite good at that, I think. Where do you see yourself, or not yourself, but Comodo as a brand in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. I would love to see us to continue to grow, and I would love for us to be in some wholesalers at that point. I feel like we're at a point now where we're ready to start going into some B2B businesses. There's other big brands that have got a very successful going into big brands and other different wholesalers. I see the business a very big online presence, because I feel like a lot of people are shopping online. So hopefully in 5 to 10 years, we're big on TikTok, you know, people know us, and we go to the shows, everything that we're doing now, but just bigger, basically.
So like TikTok seems to be, by the sounds of it then, because I'm a little bit older, you think that TikTok in particular is one of the main ones? Yeah,
I think TikTok, the growth on TikTok, that has just, it's even surpassed YouTube and stuff like that with views and that. It's just like crazy. No one ever thought it would be possible for someone to overtake YouTube. The same way like no one thought anyone would build anything bigger than eBay. Then Amazon comes along, bang, knocks it straight out of the park. Do you know what I mean? Makes eBay look like a small business. And these are different things like that's constantly happening. And I just hope that we can jump on the wave at the right time. And I feel like we've got a really good product that if people do actually invest and they want to support a UK business owner, wear something stylish and comfortable at work, I feel like hopefully we can carry on growing.
So would you move into, or would you stay in the lane currently in the next 5 or 10 years, or would you think when it's obviously kicks off and goes really well, would you think, I might move into doing something in the same, like I said about boots, I suppose. When you've got the time and the investment after the first bit, would you?
Oh, 100%. Like there's no limit to what I want to design for workers. I want to make socks. I want to make gloves. I want glasses. There's so many different ideas and different things that I've already got that I would like to make. But like tool bags, even either co-designing a piece with on a collab or whatever it might be. There's literally, the sky's the limit. Workwear in general can be so broad. We could be looking at workwear in nurses or people that do beauty. There's so many different avenues within workwear that we would like to branch out in once we're established enough in our own section.
You don't think of that, do you? Like say nurses and doctors and God knows what, they wear uniforms as well. So
there's so much workwear is like the sky's the limit. And then obviously if you look at brands like Carhartt and Dickies, they've basically gone into more of a fashion sort of sense, and that could be an avenue that we might take in the future. But right now I'm very much focused on we do workwear. That's what we do. We do it best, And once we've nailed that, and as you say, grown to a point where we're really established, then we could start looking at maybe some gym wear potentially, straight from work, going to the gym, just the whole lifestyle built in. And there's endless possibilities, to be honest.
It's a catchy name as well.
Oh, I appreciate that. Comodo.
Yeah.
I wanted something easy that people knew how to spell and say.
Yeah.
They do get it confused with a dragon here and there.
Well, that's what I thought. That was what it was when I first saw it. Yeah.
But I think I'm going to add that in at some point. Like Lacoste, like a little Lacoste Comodo dragon. Because it's like the alpha of the workwear. You know what I mean? Because Comodo dragons are like the alpha of the lizard family. So we'll see how that goes.
So from your point of view, I can see you're mega passionate, and especially about your brand.
Yeah.
What would you say keeps you motivated on a day-to-day basis? Because you sound so you're so driven. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So when you might get the knockbacks, or you might get that delivery or order not come in time, or something goes wrong. What keeps you motivated to keep going?
To be honest, as cliche as it might sound, it's actually family, like my mum. It goes back to what we said about giving up what you want most for what you want now. Like, I made a promise in my head that I want to do something for my mum and my dad in the future. And until that happens, I don't feel like there'll ever be a day that beats me. Yeah. Because there's been so many issues that gets thrown your way as business owner that you need to overcome, problems that you need to solve. And I feel like family first, remembering what you're doing it for, and that will always be greater, so that's always, it helps that I'm very passionate about clothing and my business. I feel like a bit different because a lot of fashion brands, there's so many different fashion brands popping up, and people are very into fashion and stuff, and I'm blessed because I am an electrician and I'm into sort of clothing, so it sort of merged in my favour. But I think remembering what you're doing it for will always help when you're going through times of struggle. But don't get me wrong, there's times where I've got my head in my hands and I'm thinking, I don't know why I'm doing this. I've been on the tools today, then I'm at the office, but listen, shows and all sorts. It's just all part of it. And to be honest, after the stress is done, you sit down at the end of the night, you feel happy with yourself, you're proud that you got over it and you didn't let it beat you. Yeah. And I don't know who it was. I think it's a famous investor. He basically said, plan B is plan A, plan C is plan A, plan D is plan A. Like, I'm never gonna stop. Like, this is gonna work for me. Yeah. And I feel like that. Hopefully, that passion and that drive takes me to the position where I want to be. Yeah.
You're only obviously young anyway. Must say that before I say this, but when you started on the tools, for instance, so about
15 years ago,
what advice would you give yourself? Would there be, because what I will say, just there listening to you talk about the passion, not just that, but with a family aspect of it, brilliant. Love to hear that, because you're going to do it for them. Yeah. Your dad was at Harrogate as well.
Yeah. So my dad is literally my top salesman. What a geezer! Do you know what I mean? I think you met him. He's there. So he outsells me sometimes. He's absolutely brilliant. So he knows the products. He knows what I'm trying to achieve. My mum, she's always in the background helping me out with certain bits and bobs. So I wouldn't be where I am today without them. Yeah. I feel like their work ethos has rubbed off on me as well, though. Like, they're both very hard workers, so I just think it's normal to work as hard as this, but really it's just what I've been shown. So
no, you're right. A lot of people don't have that same.
And maybe that's a blessing for the people that do, because if everyone had it, and it's the good old saying, if it was easy, everyone would do it, you know. Hopefully, one stage, people might look back and think, Comodo Workwear, that's an overnight success. I've been from work on the tools after work for pretty much 3, 4, 5 years until recently, where I'm not on the tools all the time, but it's just like working constantly.
You don't need to. You're still obviously keeping your arm in, but your cogs must be going elsewhere all the time when you're on site.
You are right. My cogs are everywhere. However, it gives me the ability to just crack on with a task and like zone out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the same with sports, you know, like you play football or tennis, well, I don't know if you're doing it, you said about running, like you're just in the zone, you're not thinking about nothing else. That's what I like about being on the tools now, because my mind's constantly going. If I get a task, right, put that bit of basket up or a tray or whatever, I'm like, right, I need to just forget about everything, put my phone to one side, crack on with it, and then back to reality as soon as it's finished, pretty much.
So you just get it's nice. I always love having a project or something just to go, right, I do it here all the time. I'm like, all right, leave it with me, just let me just crack on. And then that's when you get weird little ideas, isn't it, really?
The ideas come. I don't think anyone's short of ideas. I think it's like executing them that people have problem with. So
what would you say your biggest, like in business, especially since you've been doing the Comodo thing, what's been your biggest like breakthrough? I mean, obviously you've got your tools fairs, or you got the Apprentice, obviously, but would you say that was the biggest push, the TV show? Or
to be honest, I think the biggest thing for me was the first tool fair. Yeah, you know, Tool Fair, Pro Builder Live, they're really good people, and I really get on with everyone that works there. Going into that, I was a bit anxious. I didn't know. I paid a lot of money for a stand. You don't know who's going to be there. You don't know if people are even... You know, I didn't even have what's the thing called? I didn't even have, like somewhere for some people to try stuff on, a changing room. I didn't even have a changing room at the first thing, And we was lucky that the place behind us was empty, so I was just sending people around the back. Fantastic. And then it was like, for me, that was a big breakthrough. It's like, right, these tool fairs are amazing. People can come, try them on, and as soon as they try them on, they're like more than likely to buy them because they're more comfortable than what they've had before. And that was it. I was like, this is a game changer. I'm onto something here. So since the actual idea, I think the biggest one was definitely the tool fairs, and you know, I can't wait for the next one next week.
Because I seem to remember there's like I come over and said hello, and there was like a black curtain. Or so was that where you were sending them to go
so
around there?
We got a bit of conduit across with a curtain, and we send them in there. We've got a little mirror in there, so people can try them on. And I think having a shop would really help us as well. But it's obviously the where to do it and all of those come
one step at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Really. Yeah. So because we at Tool Fair, where we put our stands up, because obviously then we have stock as well. So we had to sort of put where we want our stands and then bring it forward. So is that what you've got now? Because obviously happy days that people weren't on the one behind.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We've still got the we've basically still got everything sort of on show. We are gonna like flip everything around and have a bit more branding on show. But for me, where it's just me and the old man at the moment, it's like easy for me to just have everything there. I can see it, and it's just quick. Do you know what I mean? Bang, bang, bang. We've got a good system. Like Dad pulls them in, has a bit of a chat, and then he'll say like, send them over to Liam. Liam will size you up, and then I'll say like, right, I think you're like a medium or a small, and then bang in the change rooms, and we just got a bit of a system going. So
that's fantastic. I love to hear things like that. I really do. I just love the fact when I went over to see you, it was like, I won't say jumble sale because that's unfair, but I just remember seeing all the stuff there, and there was plenty of people coming over to you.
That's the thing. It's hard to make it look like
if things move.
It was just like bang. It's just 100 miles an hour. To be honest, I need more hands on deck. But I think having Dad there is a blessing. I've had my sister's fella there as well, Chris, in the past. But I need to hire some sales people.
There to do.
That's it.
Well, I was going to just start talking about something which shouldn't be said on here. Then. Not in a bad way, but no, just thought of something else. Anyway. So is there any other shows on the horizon? So you got Tool Fairs, obviously next year. This year, Sandown and Coventry. Have you got any others?
Yeah, so we do the 6 shows at Pro Builder Live Tool Fair. We was in talks to do the installer show last year, but we just never done it. I think it was just a bit short notice. We didn't have delivery of stock. We wanted a certain level of stock before going there, because obviously that's a 3-day event as well. So
you want to sell there, don't you?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. And it's a massive show. I mean, the problem is with the shows is they are quite expensive. Like in terms of the shell space, you really need to, as a small business. We do have a marketing budget, but obviously I can understand Rothenberger probably has more budget for stuff like that. Whereas for me, it's very much I need to make a return on the investment. If I'm not, then it could be damaging for the business. And trying to pick the right shows is something, there's painter shows and decorator shows that we will attend more now because we've got painters trousers. But yeah, I mean, we're maintaining the shows that we've got, and hopefully we pick up a couple more as well along the way.
So have you got a plan to do installer in 2026?
I would, there is plans to do it. It's not set in stone because it all depends on the way that the stock's coming in and developing new products. But I think if everything goes to plan, we'll probably be an installer.
So what do you do? Just a question here, I just thought there. So when you're designing, so you're on the tools, doing your job, then do you put time aside just for you to think of designs, or are you, when you're driving along, thinking, oh, that'd be a good idea because I need to get that down? Do you actually specify some time for you to just go, right, this is me?
Yeah, you have to allocate time. I feel like, for me, the product development stage is what I love. So I love designing the products, designing the jackets, designing the trousers, making things look stylish, slim fit, but have all of the accessories. That's what I love to do. So naturally, I spend a lot of time thinking about it, doing it. As you said, like I'll pull up my phone, get some notes out, think, right, what about this pocket for this and that, and I'll get a sample made. It's the other side of the things, the operations, the logistics, all of those, the marketing, they're the things that I tend to need to put time aside for, because I'll naturally do product development because I just love it, and hopefully we get to a point where, right now my head is in a lot of the boxes of things that need to be done, and the goal is to get, my PA and other people to come in and take on those responsibilities so I can focus on the things that I'm good at and what I enjoy, so, but as a business owner, you just take on everything. But allocating time is very difficult. I would love more hours in the day, but I'm sure everyone would.
Yeah, so you develop like what do you say, like a project. Say for instance, wouldn't it be a great idea to have like a TV show maybe where there was a project on clothing and give somebody like yourself the project manager's job?
Yeah, really that would be amazing. For seeing all the materials and all that. Even if I made a skirt and crop top, it would have been better than the one they made. It would have been the same material at least, the little twin set. You know what I mean? But let's not even with that one.
It was just funny. I just remember just watching it like, no, they're not doing that to him, are they?
Oh, you wouldn't believe what I was saying. It was too bad.
So, from now, obviously, we have to do at least one Rothenberger,
of course, question.
So, as a Spark, is there anything that you've used of ours, or do you use of ours, or is there a tool of what we make?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, really.
So the pipe cutters, I feel like Rothenberger are the biggest plumbing firm that I know of, when it comes to as a brand. And the pipe cutters I've always used to cut the plastic conduit. Of course, yeah. So we're using those. Now that you're bringing out the side cutters and all of the different accessory hand tools, I'm going to give those a go because I'm still on the tools myself. So I'm going to give them all a go, and I'm sure they're going to be wicked. But yeah, I've got the pipe cutters. I'm going to do a little story when I get back, and we'll just see the OGs. They're like 8 years old or something.
But a lot of people say exactly that. The conduit in particular, when we've got I don't know if you've seen our electric pipe bender.
Okay.
And the amount of people who say, do you do this for conduit pipe? And it's always Sparks coming over to us at installer shows. Yeah. We don't currently.
Oh,
but it's like something where we've got to start looking at, really, because everybody asks for it. Because when you're bending conduit, you're using the
metal, that's like a big vice, the metal one. When it's the plastic ones, really, like when you put in, we've got this like spring and you have to warm it up. It's like, you have to warm it up with a cloth. It don't look like very PG, let's put it that way. And you're doing that in a customer's house, and then you're bending it and stuff like that. So I could imagine like a plastic conduit pipe bender would be a good product for.
So you actually use like a bend spring.
Yeah, so you put a spring in. So say you've got like the center of the pipe. So you put the spring in halfway down, and then you rub, like you basically create heat. Whether you could probably use a heat gun, but usually like when I got taught, you just use like a cloth, and that it doesn't look very PG. And then you literally just bend it on your knee or whatever, and then offer it up and then rebend it.
It's interesting if we do, obviously, first thing like bend springs. We
Yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
that obviously for copper and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I didn't realise Sparks done the
But
same
I
thing
didn't
for
realise they had bend springs for copper. I
Yeah.
thought it was just the trusty.
Yeah, multi-benders and stuff. Yeah, we have like internal and external benders. And it must be just because I remember when I first started, obviously bend springs, a lot of people used to still use. We still sell them now. But also remember the one that I first seen was sand
Okay.
in a pipe and pack it in.
Oh, really?
Because it like a spring keeps the shape.
Yeah. It holds the
Like
shape of it. Yeah.
Unbelievable what
Yeah.
people used to do.
And you have to empty all of that out.
empty out all that, and so I didn't realise you had bend springs in electrical work.
Yeah.
So we always obviously try and finish, and we want to make sure we speak about your brand
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
And then we have always have our one little question on Rothenberger, but so we always like to try and finish on some quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Quite a difficult one as regards one word answers, because sometimes it just isn't. But if you can do one word,
okay.
absolutely fine.
Great.
So, are you a tea or coffee person?
Coffee.
Early bird or a night owl?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting. I'll come back to that. So, what's the best and you couldn't live without tool in your toolkit?
The CK croppers for me, you know.
okay.
I'm not massive on side cutters.
No.
I do use them here and there, but when I got taught, I use the croppers and I can't get away from them.
Yeah. There's always one tool, isn't there, what you just would not use anybody else's, or you just get used to. It's like
That's it.
crescent grips back in the day. They were American, and everybody used to, crescent. You don't really see them now that often, really. So going back to your product, your favourite Comodo product.
So I would say our latest tradesman trousers, joggers, they're sort of a mix
brilliant,
between trousers and joggers. They're a hybrid material, so they've got 4-way stretch jogger material, which is durable and comfortable. And then we've also got, it's almost like a night tech fleece material.
Right, okay.
So it's like a bit softer and it's more comfortable than the 4-way stretch. I feel like they're the ultimate joggers. It's got really stretchy waist, the built in the belt, so...
And it's like, is it the same material as the jackets?
Yes, it's the same material as the jackets in certain places, and then
Yeah.
in other places, like we've got reinforced cordura-like material on the knees. So that's a stretch cordura as well. So instead of like the rigid cordura that might be, you know, a bit stiff when you move, these move with you. So they're definitely my favourite. You know, they're my baby. You know, the business is my baby, but the trousers that I've just designed, I've spent a long time on. So
I will put a link on there when we release
Thank
this
you.
as well to have a look at. If you weren't an electrician, or if you weren't an entrepreneur, or the apprentice thing, what do you think you'd be doing?
I think I would be an entrepreneur. I know I am, but I would just be a business owner in a different... Yeah, because I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, I feel like I was born to be an entrepreneur. I sold donuts and Doritos in school. I've always loved nicking a pound note and selling stuff when I left school. So that was just a big thing for me. I do like, being in business. So definitely.
So you
something
can't
like
see
that.
yourself doing anything like sporty, or was you a footballer?
I'm not. I like playing football. I was never good enough to become a footballer, so that dream sailed a long time ago. But listen, I think everyone loves. You know, I am big into sports. So if I definitely couldn't be an entrepreneur, then maybe it'd be something in sports.
Like Comodo Sportswear.
Exactly, Comodo Activewear.
Yeah.
That's it.
You've thought of that already.
That's
haven't you?
That's it.
So from your point of view, if you had to pick one, I've got to go back to the quick fire answers because I'll be told off. But if you had to pick one, apprentice boardroom or your van? Your electrician's van, not the Comodo van.
Apprentice boardroom.
And would you say that's more pressure?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
High pressure environment, that.
Well, I can imagine. Well, I can't imagine.
But it's thrilling, you know. It's a good experience. Yeah, it's a good buzz.
Must be a buzz to be in there.
Yeah.
So, God, there's me going off again. But is the cameras everywhere in there?
Oh,
and
honestly,
stuff like
it's literally like, if you think this is bad, it's like 10 times this. You got the camera guy, you got the mic speaker geezer over you, like with the big sponge thing that looks like it's gonna fall on your head. Like literally, it's overwhelming, which can be, new to people,
Yeah,
obviously.
some people would like crumble a little bit, wouldn't
Yeah,
they,
like
really?
me on a pitch, like just like stumbled on my way,
No,
said
but
absolutely nothing.
but that's the thing for me though. With those things, when somebody does that, it sort of makes you human.
No, of
because
course.
we've all been there when it's like, oh shit, it's gone.
Yeah,
It's gone.
Yeah.
And it does happen, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you any worse. You know, and I've no doubt it's happened to Lord Sugar. Or
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
You know. So, if you had a dream celebrity to wear Comodo Workwear,
a dream celebrity to wear my product would probably be Ben Francis, because I know he wears his own product. He's the owner of Gymshark.
oh, okay.
But I feel like if he was wearing my products, that means that we've at least had a conversation, or there might be something that I could have learnt from him. So
yeah.
I'll say that.
So, if you had, one word, your mates describe you, what would it be? If it has to be longer than one word, fair enough. But but yeah, is there something where they would say, "Oh, Liam's definitely that way"?
I'll say ambitious.
Yeah, fair play. Because you don't want to sound like cocky, do you? When
Yeah.
you're answering stuff like that, they're driven and all this.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. So ambitious.
I feel like the boys know that I'm passionate. I'd actually say passionate. Like, I'm a very passionate person.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Football team.
West Ham, obviously.
So you had a great win the weekend.
Yeah, good win the other
really
day.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 goals in about 10 minutes.
That was incredible, weren't it?
Oh, mate.
Yeah, best friend, or one of my best mates in where I live, he's a Forest fan,
Okay.
and he just couldn't believe it
was
because you've
fuming.
had a really awkward time of it.
I weren't like looking forward to playing Forest. They've made some great signings, and
Yeah.
like I thought, cool, we could be in trouble here.
Yeah.
What about you? Who do you support?
So what's your favourite? I'm a Villa fan.
Villa. That's
And it's great usually.
Yeah,
Recently,
but well,
last
obviously
night was a bit.
you lost last night, but Crystal Palace are a good side at the minute.
They're a
Well
bogey team.
organised.
They're very well organised.
Very
That's the best
organised
one.
at the minute.
Because that guy, I think I went down to Wembley for the semi-final against them.
Yeah.
And we just thought, yeah, we've got this. Because we're on the crest of a wave. Yeah, we've got this. And we beat them once in the last 6 or 7 meetings. They've been,
Really?
I think it's 8 meetings. They just keep having our number. But they've got some big boys there.
Yeah,
and,
they have, yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm talking about me. I love talking about sports. Is there any
Yeah,
other
I
sport
love-
you're into?
Yeah, I've recently got into golf last couple of years.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
I've never really been a golfer. I always said to my old man, like, it's an old man sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last couple of years, like, it's becoming quite popular. The boys are into it, so yeah, we've been getting out a little bit and trying to get a handicap of some sort. So
Yeah, and it's also a place where a lot of business is spoken,
Yeah.
isn't it, as well?
it's a good place for
yeah.
networking and stuff like that.
Absolutely, they're stuck with you all day.
Yeah.
If you're doing 18 holes, they ain't getting away
That's
from you.
it. But I love all sports. Like, I play tennis regularly with one of my pals, Paul. I play basketball in the summer usually more. But I'm into all sports. I do love it.
What about your favourite movie?
Favourite movie? That would probably be A Knight's Tale, Heath Ledger.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's got everything. It's got everything in it. I used to love that sort of era. You know what I mean? That sort of
medieval type
medieval
stuff.
times with the jousting and all that.
That was the Queen song was in it when there was jousting.
Yeah.
We Will Rock
We
You.
Will
So,
Rock You.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Nah, it's a proper film. That.
Yeah, I think. What year would that have been?
Cool, I reckon.
I think I was working at a cinema then. I reckon about 95.
I was gonna say that's the year I was born. That's 29 years ago. Cool. I'd say probably.
Thanks for that. I don't know, I feel old.
No, but it was though. It was.
He's
It
the
was.
same
No,
age as Dan, so...
but no, I'm thinking I think it must be about that. Well, Heath Ledger, obviously, rest in peace. He's not with us anymore. So, and he was a young fella in that film, where he was like on the come up, like.
I think Rufus Sewell was the bad guy. I remember he was horrible.
He was horrible in it.
So, lastly, I've got to say, it's been absolutely brilliant having you on,
you.
and not just in here, but having the chat
Yeah,
through there as
of
well.
course, thanks.
So, where can people find you, or your socials, or your gear?
Yeah. So Comodo Workwear on Instagram and TikTok, and on the website it's www.comodoworkwear.com. You can find us on there. Hopefully, we'll leave some links, and we'll get a giveaway get a giveaway sorted. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me down.
Say that, yeah, we're going to do a giveaway of sorts where we're going to be talking Comodo and Rothenberger. So, Liam, absolute pleasure, mate.
Pleasure.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.